Hi, this is Phil Di Bella and you're listening to FlashCast by PDB. Today I bring back the famous Gianna Di Bella, who always gets amazing reviews and lots of downloads, so it'd be crazy not to have her on the show. Gigi, welcome.
Great to be here again today.
And of course we're recording. You'll hear the waterfalls in the background and maybe the fire crackling. Gianna's got a wine in her hand. I've got a scotch. Life can't get much better when you've got great people and great moments and you're creating awesome times together. So let's get into it. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I was asked, who and how have things impacted your life so far? And I thought, not only are you going to hear my version of this, you're going to hear Gianna's version of this. So who and how has impacted my life and Gianna's life so far to be able to be in the position that we're in. So here goes again, unscripted. We do these things talking straight from the heart and the mind. So I hope the listeners get something from it. Let me fire off that one thing we talk about a lot is values. And the people that have taught me my best values and obviously will shape my values and shape most people's values is my parents. And can I say that first people I acknowledge is my parents. They are people who have obviously impacted my life and, in terms of values. My dad was earning $450 a week. That's all he earned. Yet I still have memories of a great upbringing. We never went on holidays, but we shared amazing moments. So I think when I talk about life as measured in moments, that value simply came from my father and my mother, especially my dad, who always strived to make sure that we had amazing moments, no matter about how much money he earned, $450 a week. Yet I have great memories of an amazing upbringing, spending amazing moments with my family around just being rather than doing. And what I mean by that is we had great barbecues. We got together with family. We smiled, we laughed, we joked, we ran, we played soccer. We cooked together. I helped him make barbecues. All the stuff that's all about being rather than doing. Stuff that doesn't cost a lot of money. And I cherish those moments. So my parents definitely brought me, instilled great values. Gianna, for you?
So for me, I have to say it was my year 7 teacher. I can still remember her walking in the classroom. She had purple hair. It was shaved. She looked more like Boy George than she did a year 7 teacher. But from the minute she walked in, she just ignited the inspiration of all those kids in her classroom, particularly me. Prior to that stage, I'd had teachers that told me I was dumb, that I'd amount to nothing, really negative messages. And then she walked in and she just told me stories about how my life could be, the hope that of life that I could create, the places I could visit. She just really ignited hope in me. And she was the first person that taught me when you can really, really see someone and really listen to one and provide them with a safe haven where to fall, how powerful that can be in really creating a life for someone that they probably didn't expect that they could achieve.
Yeah, great message there in hope, right? And obviously from mine, we talked about probably the message in mine is about value, as in it's not about a number, it's about moments, not about dollars. And for you, it was all about mindset and hope, somebody coming in and providing you with the inspiration of hope. So some core messages there. The next one for me was a gentleman by the name of Alan Piper. Alan Piper used to own AP Eagers, and then he passed away with leukemia many years ago. And most of you might know the company as AP Eagers to what it is today. And I met him when I was 17, when I worked at Cosmopolitan in the Valley. And Alan Piper was a very successful man who always said to me, Phil, the grass looks greener on the other side. And a man who I respected, not only because of what he'd created in his life, but because of the impact that he had on those around him, and more so the positive mindset when he was battling leukemia. He's also the man that was instrumental to get Lee Matthews to the Lions, which some of you might not know that. And the Lions went on to go from the bottom of the ladder to win, 3 premierships in a row and make 4 grand finals in a row. Alan Piper was the man that started that. And he was a man that was close to me, dear to me, and mentored me in a lot of ways, but mentored me not as your traditional way, but mentored me through conversation when I'd see him every day when he'd come in to get his lunch at Cosmopolitan. And the key message was the grass looks greener on the other side. And he's the one that attributed me to sticking to learning what not to do in business. He's the man that, said, I'll give you a job in cars because you love cars. And he gave me the first Porsche to drive in 2006 that hit Australia. I'll never forget for the weekend. But he said, your passion is cars, but it's not your destiny. Your destiny is to go out and create your own business. And thank God I listened because, sorry, I'm talking about 1996, not 2006. 1996, he gave me the first Porsche that arrived in Australia of that model to drive and said, go and, create your destiny. Your destiny's not selling cars. That's a passion. Go and create your destiny and you can buy whatever car you want. And can I say, Alan, may you rest in peace. And I'm sure if you're looking down on me, you'd be very proud and you were instrumental. Gianna, who else would you like to acknowledge?
I'd like to acknowledge my mum. She came to Australia when she was 17. She came over in a boat. She'd just met my father and they got married, and she arrived in Australia and had a very hard life. My father was not kind to her. She was living with my father's parents and they were really hard on her. Yet despite all that, she always treated people well, her in-laws as well as my father, even when they didn't deserve it. So the thing that I learnt from her, the lesson she provided, was to always choose the right path and to do the right thing, even when it's difficult. And she showed a lot of resilience. That was another thing she taught me. And to always continue on despite the difficulties and the hardships, because things do get better if you can believe that they will.
That's fantastic. And no doubt your mum is attributed to resilient, one of the most resilient people I've ever met, one of the kindest people I've ever met. No matter how much garbage has been thrown her way, she's always been there for you, for everybody else, and is just rock solid. Somebody I want to acknowledge is obviously yourself, Gigi. From the day I met you when I was 15 right through till now, you've always inspired me to be the best version of myself, and you've always been patient and kind, and you've been a role model for me, and you've inspired me to be the best version of myself. So the lesson I've always taken on that is that it's been a privilege, and you are my best friend. Apart from the fact that you're my wife, you're my best friend, and you're a soulmate, and I mean that because I can share personal, professional and family with you as I have, and you're there non-judgmental. Doesn't mean you don't frustrate the shit out of me, of course, sometimes, as I do you, but you've always been there and you've been rock solid, so instrumental. For yourself, next person to acknowledge.
Well, definitely you. You've done equally for what I've provided in your life. I think what you've provided in mine is positivity and generosity of spirit, and that feeling, again, of safety. Having come from a background and a childhood where my father was not the ideal person, being able to have that sense of positivity, because ingrained in me was that negativity, and you have a powerful ability to envision things, and that's what I've learnt from you. That power of vision can create worlds.
All right, thank you. It's all about teamwork, and we make a great team. The next one is our children. I think we'll do this one together because we both agree on this. Our children are our best teachers because they teach us how to be humble, they teach us resilience, but most importantly, they teach us the value of unity and togetherness. Especially our children, they teach us the value of authenticity because they know when we're bullshitting to them, and they wouldn't accept anything different. They're far beyond their years, and they've taught me to be a better leader. They've taught me to keep it real. They've taught me to keep it short, sharp, and to the point, and to treat them as equals, not talk down to them or treat them as employees or treat them as, or lesser, because they're certainly not. They are equals, and they're amazing, and they've taught me to be a better version of myself every day.
For me, the kids have taught me to better reflect on myself, because every so often they come out with gems around questions on your childhood and what you learnt from your childhood, and that always helps me reflect and become a better person as a result.
Yeah, very true, and it's a great time to reflect. Now, the last one, and we need to finish this quickly in keeping in the spirit of 10 minutes. one of my biggest learnings have been all the people that have done me wrong. And I don't mean that by poor me syndrome. I mean that by that people that have done the wrong thing from my perspective that shouldn't have done the wrong thing. Thank you. You've taught me to be a better version of myself. You've taught me what not to do in business. You've taught me what not to be as a role model. So although at the time the lessons have been hard to learn, you've taught me how to be better at what I do by the things you've done wrong. Would you agree?
Most definitely. For me, the last person would have been my sister. She was diagnosed with an aggressive breast cancer last year, and what she taught me through that process was courage. The way that she dealt with it, her resilience, she just kept stepping up and believing that she would be well. And fortunately, although that was difficult, she still sailed through her treatment really well.
Some great messages in there. We talk about resilience, courage. We talk about, betterment, communication. Guys, you've been listening to Philip and Gianna Di Bella. This is FlashCast by PDB. Until next time, go and be the bloody best you can be.